Jason, run the people down with what's been going on. It's a new audio drop-in app called Clubhouse, and you've been taking these guys to task.
Anyway, Clubhouse is this new and super exclusive app that's currently only available to people who've been invited to it. And most of them are celebrities like Kevin Hart, Drake, Tiffany Haddish, Oprah, just to name a few. And unlike Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Clubhouse is all about connecting people through audio. So once you're on the app, you can join rooms where people are in the middle of a conversation or simply start one of your own. Think of it like a live recording of a podcast where you can actually talk back and contribute to the conversation.
We're all going to go to their room. En masse. That means at the same time. And then we're going to report the speakers. We use the report feature to do our duty, because you can report speakers. You can report the speakers for running multi-level marketing scams.
I would like to talk to you about an exciting opportunity. I just need 30 minutes of your time to explain it, but it has the potential to transform your life. I'm talking about multi-level marketing companies, or MLMs, companies like Mary Kay, Rodan & Fields, Nu Skin, Amway, and Herbalife. First, you don't see them on store shelves. You buy them through distributors like friends, family, and co-workers. Those distributors are always looking for more people to join them, and they have a pretty attractive message.
Why Herbalife? Because you get to be your own boss, earn extra money,
work from home,
raise your own children.
You can name your own hours.
Make part-time or full-time money,
paying the bills.
Share this video with 10 people
that you care about, that you love, that you adore, that you admire. 20 people, 30 people.
Come on, what are you waiting for?
100 people. Share with everybody. They want what we have. We got it.
Multi-level is selling. What you do for a living, if you're making six figures in a multi-level or a network marketing program, is you are recruiting people, training them, and replacing them, because the fallout is huge.
Right.
Because by and large, they hire people who are not people that want to be salespeople, and most of them don't make it. So your turnover is very, very high, and you are constantly recruiting, hiring, training. Recruiting, hiring, training. If that's what you want to do for a living for the next 10 years, multi-level network marketing could very well lead you into a six-figure income, and you would be in control of your destiny. That's the good news. The bad news is it doesn't sound like that.
Multi-level marketing companies have been around for a long while now.
Huge business that's also created a huge controversy.
It's a strategy where they decided to target the poorest people in the world.
That's why they indoctrinate you with so much self-help.
They are predatory. However, the people most likely to be preyed upon are already vulnerable.
You tell the people you love they're in a pyramid scheme, and they go, no, I'm not, you're just a hater.
Well, hold on. That business structure sounds familiar. Isn't that a pyramid scheme?
Because when a pyramid scheme or a cult is presented to you, it will not reveal itself as such. It will come wrapped in a well-decorated packaging with a pretty bow on the top, disguised as
$1 million opportunity.
Disguised as a way to
work when you like, set your family free financially.
When it presents itself to you, it will not come dressed in the robes of an unfamiliar character. It will come dressed as your best friend, your neighbor, someone you admire, someone you love. Its message will be that of hope and that of all you've ever wanted. It will come disguised as anything and everything but that of which it actually is.
What kind of criminal were you?
I was a careful criminal, probably an arch criminal. I played the game of crime very carefully for many, many years and covered my tracks with zest and zeal, okay? In a way, I was a cult leader. As insane as that sounds, it was our own value system, independent of society. You know, what was right and wrong, and mostly the difference between right and wrong was getting caught.
Because you can report speakers. You can report the speakers for running multi-level marketing scams.
But you're like a real angel investor, and there's all these...
That's the real deal. Hey everybody, it's another This Week in Startups. I am back from Vegas and I've got an amazing guest on the program. Travis Kalanick is with us. He's an old friend and the CEO and co-founder of Uber. Welcome to the program, Travis.
Thanks.
Good to have you here. Yeah.
A day later, a billionaire is trolling me. I've never sold an online course in my life. I have nothing against them. I think there's many quality online courses, but I've never sold one. No info product, no masterclass, no coaching, no mentoring. Again, I have nothing against them.
Intelligent people like to debate, so they're suckered into these crazy debates with trolls and even intelligent people, so he should get off Twitter 100%. In terms of his tweet, I like the way he phrased the tweet. Am considering taking Tesla private. He's letting everybody know at the same time. I like the idea of everybody gets the information at once.
Part?
I think that's accurate as well. The Saudis were building up this 3, 4, 5% position. They offered multiple times to invest in the company and help them take it private. And as we all know, Tesla had a long dance with Google. Apple made overtures. There are 2 or 3 dozen sovereign wealth funds and companies both here and in China who could easily write $5, $10, $20 billion checks to take the company private. So
the Saudi Defense Ministry provided these images to 60 Minutes. This is the moment more than 24 Iranian-made drones and cruise missiles crippled the kingdom's oil production. Meanwhile, in his first on-camera interview since the murder of Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman denies any direct involvement in his death.
I invest in companies when they're just starting out. I never take any money from founders. I wrote a book on angel investing because I made a ton of money doing that. And it's $10 or you can get it for free. There's no course. I do teach a course at Angel University. It's only for accredited investors, and we donate all the money to charity if there's any profits from it.
God bless you, Jason. Wow.
100,000. We did 100,000 in profits from that Angel University class. And the reason I teach those classes is because I want to see more people back founders.
I've spoken against people for over a year now that sell courses that are BS. I've got a video on my YouTube channel that says don't pay gurus on fuck paid courses. Sorry for cussing. Fuck paid courses. That's what my video says on YouTube.
Well, I heard about this, that there was this woman, I think her name was Lauren, in the room, and the reason I got kicked out of the room was they brought me up as a speaker because they know I'm notable. And she said, well, I'm charging you, the way you do this is you charge $8,000, but then you discount it to $4,000. You get people on the phone. You explain to them how you're going to hold them accountable. And I said, $4,000. I said, what qualifies you to charge $4,000 for coaching? And they kicked me out of the room.
So you're charging $1,500 to $2,000 a month with local clients. How much do you want to be charging?
Oh, that's, I never actually thought of that before. Maybe, if I could get my retainer up to $2,500 a month, that would really help my profit margins.
And so what were you hoping to get from me today?
How much time do you think we would need if I was to give a coaching call or something like that for your time?
Usually I start with 2 hours because with what you're doing right now, I think 2 hours will be sufficient enough to let me look at your offer and also maybe give you some strategies on how to bump up your pricing, because I think you're not charging enough.
Okay, so that'd be, we could do 2 hours and that would be good for me.
So for 2 hours, I charge $10K. How do you feel about that?
$10K?
Correct. $5,000 an hour. It's an awful lot of money.
Is there any way that we could maybe, start with an hour and go from there, or maybe get a discount or something? That's all,
So
that's almost 1% of my profits there in a month.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And she said, well, I'm charging you, the way you do this is you charge $8,000, but then you discount it to $4,000. You get people on the phone. You explain to them how you're going to hold them accountable. And I said, $4,000. I said, what qualifies you to charge $4,000 for coaching? And they kicked me out of the room.
Let me ask you this. You're coming to me because you want to charge more money and charge what you believe you're worth and just make more profit, correct?
Yeah.
And how would you feel if you come to me, the king of high ticket sales, Dan Locke, and we start our relationship by me giving you a discount? Would you trust to hire a guy like that to help you increase your price?
I guess maybe not.
Yeah. Do you want to be do you want to be Bentley in your industry, or you want to be the Hyundai?
I'm done with the Hyundai.
Correct. And I am the fucking Bentley.
But then they brought me back, and then MC Hammer put me back on stage, and I said, listen, $4,000 is a scam. If you're a coach, why don't you just charge $400 an hour? And if you do 1 hour and it really helped me, maybe in 2 weeks I'll pay you $400 again. No, you got to get the $8,000 up front. You got to do it.
And then Jason Calcanis, a billionaire who I've listened to his podcast, a pretty smart guy, jumps into the room, has a disagreement with one of the moderators about online courses, was pretty disrespectful from what I heard. I was not there. And someone moves him back to the audience.
Because you can report speakers. You can report the speakers for running multi-level marketing scams.
Well then, a day later, I get a video, which I've just sent to everyone, about Jason Calcanis in his room telling people to go and mass report people. It's a billionaire without doing his research or anything, after tweeting about me and others, being fake gurus selling courses. I've never sold a freaking course.
I am like in your world, you have like the Lex Luthors and the supervillains.
Absolutely, yeah.
I am the Man of Steel. I am the Dark Knight.
Yes.
I am the actual real deal.
See, what we call God depends upon our tribe, Clark Joe. Because God is tribal. God takes sides. No man in the sky intervened when I was a boy to deliver me from Daddy's fist and abominations.
Hey, Arthur. How's it going?
Oh, hey, guys. Come on in.
And what's with the makeup then?
My mom died. Celebrating.
That's why we came by. I figured you could use some cheering up.
Oh, sweet. But, no. I feel good. I stopped taking my medication. I feel a lot better now.
I just want to know what you said. Make sure our stories line up, seeing as how you're my boy, and
that makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, Randall. Thank you so much.
I just want to.
Why would you do that, Arthur?
Did you watch the Murray Franklin show? Yeah. I'm gonna be on tonight. It's fucking crazy, isn't it? Me on the telly. What?
I figured out way back. God is all powerful. He cannot be all good. And if he is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. And neither can you be. They need to see the fraud you are.
Right. But I saw these people, JT Fox and this guy Brad, and I looked them up, and it turns out they're answering questions, they're coaching people. They might have been a little racist. So this kid JT got suspended, but I just said, this is a scam. I can tell it's a grift. One guy, Brad, is doing MLM CBD products. So multi-level marketing of CBD. So that's like ripping the fabric of the scam universe. CBD and MLM put together. Yeah.
Let's get back to the 26 million followers, because in today's world, that's an extremely valuable asset. Most people would try to monetize that, and it sounds like you're attempting to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing. Just on 1 week in Instagram, I reached almost 500 million people. I think it was like 446 million people.
So what do you want to do with that?
Sell a lot of cannabis. Our main focus right now is on the CBD pens, and we're doing THC in the states that are legal for those pens.
Dan's betting big that recreational marijuana will soon be legal in every state. And he hopes he can convert his loyal Insta followers into loyal Ignite users.
So anybody who's charging you $5,000 for a course or $10,000 for
a bunch of
courses,
nobodies.
you have to be, and they're nobodies who've never accomplished anything. You have to really just type in their name: Tai Lopez, JT Fox, Brad, whatever that guy's name was. You know them better than me.
Kevin, David. We can go down the list.
Hey, Tech Lead here, and welcome back to another episode of the Tech Lead. Now, I'm here in San Diego because I had heard word that there was somebody who used to work at Facebook, and he left Facebook, he quit. I think his address is somewhere around here. Is this it? Is this his house? What's going on here? It's no big deal though. It's just that housing prices in Silicon Valley, they're just so expensive that for the same price as this, you could probably just get like a tool shed or something in Silicon Valley, kind of like where I'm living in. Oh hey! This video, by the way, is brought to you by The Great Courses Plus, an on-demand video learning service with top-notch courses and lectures by great professors from Ivy League universities.
What's up, man?
Kevin.
Tech Lead.
Now I heard that you had left Facebook. I'm here to try and get you back into Silicon Valley, get you recruited.
All right, let's do it.
So is your name Kevin or David? What do I call you?
Well, you can call me Kevin, but I've been wondering, is your name Tech or Lead?
You're still living here, huh, with your parents? Even at age 30?
Oh man, I wish this was my parents' house. That would be nice.
Wow, is this your view?
It is, yeah.
You must have been making some good money over at Facebook.
Oh man, Facebook always paid me some, but not to afford this, unfortunately.
And then just write review or scam
Yep.
at the end of their name and then, or Better Business Bureau, and just look at what people are saying, who say these people are scam artists who are trying to grift. They're grifters.
All these awards over here, these don't look like Employee of the Month awards.
So these are from a company that we use called ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is basically like a software that you can create online businesses with. Each one of these is called a 2 Comma Club Award, which I guess represents making over $1 million with one funnel, or which is essentially a website.
Ladies and gentlemen, bring to the stage Mr. Russell Brunson!
Yeah, me too. This is safe.
So, ideally, before we head out, basically 3 videos of you to camera, kind of pitching each of those offers. I'm flying this plane. They're legit like gonna let me fly this thing. Can you hear me now?
We got the sunrise. There ain't no money in that sunrise. I can't pay your bills with a sunrise. So Russell, great to have you on board, dude. All right, okay, always good to spend time with you. You've done my last 2 conferences. Done a great job there. 1 out of 9 people purchased his product. Made a bunch of money at the last one, huh? Yeah. So look, man, I don't really understand the whole funnel thing. I know a lot of people doing well with it, right? Yeah. What I want to know, though, can anybody do a funnel?
Oh, yeah.
They're grifting on, unfortunately, the lowest economic ladder of society.
Yes.
And their goal is to take your money. If you don't know what it takes to be successful and you're trying to improve yourself, they'll come to you with polished up, with all the trappings of success. Unfortunately, we do live in like a visual world now where perception is reality.
I've been inside some of the most incredible mansions in LA, but this 31,000 square foot behemoth in Bel Air is one of the most outrageous homes I've ever been invited to see. This is the home of the infamous Instagrammer, Dan Bilzerian. To his 27 million followers, he's known as the King of Instagram. He started his account in the early days of the platform, portraying a raunchier and more over-the-top lifestyle than Hugh Hefner. And that made him very popular. He reportedly paid a mind-boggling $65 million for this mega mansion. And he invited me over to check it out.
Dan, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
This house is a joke, man. It's too big. It's ridiculous.
That's what we were shooting for.
Dan's clearly passionate about his brand. But if you think his ultimate goal is merely cornering the market on legalized marijuana, you're wrong.
Where do you want to be in 20 years?
The goal is to make a couple $2 billion in cannabis, give a bunch of it away, do some charity, spend more time surfing in Hawaii, and then I want to be president.
You want to be president of the United States?
Yeah, I think I can do it.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought. It's like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn.
That when Onnit was in its infancy and we were messing around with some different formulas, I came to you and I said, Joe, what would be the formula that you would like the most, that you would use the most? And you said, you thought about it for a second, and you said, a nootropic. I'd like a cognitive enhancer. I said, okay. And got to work, started talking to the doctors.
And when you put together Alpha Brain, it was the first time that I ever had said anything where I really felt like I didn't want to do anything without it. Find out what actually does make you happy.
Yeah, you have to have goals and you have to have stuff that, like, you know, you got to be climbing the mountain, because at the end of the day, like,
climbing the mountain is far more satisfying than being at the top of the mountain, you know? Like,
isn't that weird though? That's like not what we've ever been taught.
Well, it's counterintuitive because most people don't like get that. They just know that, like, okay, like, you know, my dad told me, like, it's better to give than receive. And I was like, okay, that's perfect, motherfucker. You can just give me shit and I'll receive it and I'll be happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you don't have it. If you don't have it, then that makes sense.
Well, yeah, exactly. But there's a point, and you almost have to, like, get really rich to understand that. You really have to just buy all that shit, realize, okay, like, I got it all, it's cool, that made me happy, but it's temporary.
You know you're getting grifted, I think. One thing is when you see the Instagram and somebody like Tai Lopez or JT Fox, what they do is to put themselves in proximity to other powerful people so they get the halo effect, and then to share the trappings of wealth.
Hey, Sam, this is the guy I was telling you about.
Savior of the universe. You save every one of us. Just a man with a man's courage. You know, nothing but a man. You can never fail.
I thank you for saving every one of us.
Oh, you're welcome.
He acknowledged it.
Joe.
Oh, hello.
What's up, brother?
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
Good to be here.
Man, 9 years ago we started doing this.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, right?
How does time happen so quickly?
Yeah, and so much has happened.
Yeah, quite a bit.
You know, I mean, we're both grown-ass people 9 years ago, but...
I know, but not as grown.
No, for sure not. For sure not.
Yeah, it's very strange. Time waits for no one.
Yeah. And then 7 years ago, we started this thing. This whole fucking On It.
Yeah.
And I think we were just like, kind of like, yeah, you want to do this? Like, we care about fucking people and making them a little better, and we want to be better. And then this thing just grows.
Yeah, it's very strange.
So somebody like JT Fox has all these pictures of themselves. I noticed JT Fox had a picture of himself with Julia Roberts.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, and then other people who I think you can pay them 50 grand or 25 grand. They'll show up for anything.
Okay, you're so right, but can I tell you how right you are? There's a man named Clint Arthur that I go to a year ago. Clint Arthur was a guy who basically ran these groups, and he ran a fake Harvard speech event where he would go rent out a room in Harvard, sell out a bunch of tickets. Everyone in the audience had bought a ticket to speak, but they're sitting in the audience as if people are showing up to watch. And one by one, they all go around the podium, speak at the podium. It's all recorded. And then all of them put it on their marketing material saying, I spoke at Harvard. Talk about proximity to credibility.
Oh, my
They go,
Lord. It's
I
such a
spoke
perfect
at
grift. Now,
Harvard.
when you put... So they all go to Harvard, and they spoke at Harvard. They were asked to speak at Harvard. You could say Harvard speaker.
Yep. They got kicked out of Harvard. They moved to West Point. They got kicked out of there. Now they were speaking during COVID. They were speaking at the CNN Center. They went to the CNN Center. Not obviously it's not approved, but they rented out like the hotel room or whatever. There's a CNN banner in the background. The guy's making he cleared $1 million on sales of this event.
Okay, so this is the technique.
It's the technique.
People put themselves next to something that we all respect in the world, and they hope to get that credibility by association. This is the technique. So let's put this technique as credibility by association. But when you unpack it, you realize they have no affiliation.
Correct.
Now,
hey, here in my backyard, people always asking me for a tour, so I thought I'd show a little bit of my house. But more importantly, I'm gonna share with you how I went from sleeping in a mobile home, you know, with $47 in my bank account, to a place like this in Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills. And so I'm gonna give you 3 things that made all the difference in my life. But
Tony Robbins! Go!
We're here to make some history this weekend. Who's up for it here? Say aye.
A lot of people say, what did you learn? Did you learn about finance and buying businesses and raising capital and hiring lawyers and accountants? Sure, Dan covered that, but that's not what I really learned. I learned that I needed to be all I could be, and that I really wanted to, but I needed that from Dan.
What drives you, Dan?
Well, when I went into coaching 25 and a half years ago, I wanted to change what was called personal development then into true financial coaching stroke mentoring. And I didn't know what I would have to do it, but whatever I've done in my life, I always want to lead. I want to be first. So after about 4 or 5 years, I discovered that even though I'm a good motivational speaker, that's not what I want to do. I want to teach how to create generational wealth.
Now, I happen to be here in Scotland, hanging out with Dan Pena, the $50 billion man. This is his castle, Guthrie Castle behind me, and 25 other high-performance people that are here at the QLA Hardcore Seminar, figuring out how we can build businesses that are going to change the world. And there's always that person that's talking about the past. Remember the time, remember the time. Get them off your list. Next, there's the present. There's always someone talking about something on the news. The present's a wonderful place to be, but it's not the place that I like to talk about when I'm with other people. I want to talk about the future. What are we going to build? What could we create? What do I want to do with my life? And so it's time now and get rid of the people that aren't.
It's the processes, systems, procedures, and templates after templates. And starting my 27th year, it's quite remarkable. And when you guys go back, and you're one of 24, when you guys go back to Canada, there's no competition in creating generational wealth. And you've already been a super success, and now you've come back to put some fine edges on your model and to grow it based on your previous success and based on your previous and current and future brand. I mean, you're gonna knock them dead. You're gonna knock.
Okay, the mama had a swag.
Looks like I'm showing off all the time. Here's what you don't know. You don't see all the hard work, the years. Don't quit, okay? If I'd have quit, I wouldn't have the wife, wouldn't have the kids, wouldn't have the bird, wouldn't have the cars, wouldn't have the real estate, wouldn't have my physical and my mental health. I wouldn't have the success. Nobody would know me.
But man, I ain't never seen a hurt like her. That had me lost for words. So I told.
Hey guys, Tim Ferriss here, author of The 4 Hour Work Week, The 4 Hour This, That, and the Other Thing, Tools of Titans, host of The Tim Ferriss Show, all that. And I want to take a stab at a very common question, which is, if you were starting a business from scratch, if you were starting a podcast from scratch, what advice would you give? Well, I will give you some advice.
There's a 16-person movie theater in here. I like movies. There's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu room that I use. So anyway, these 3 things that I'm going to share with you, they're the things that I teach the people who work for me, the CEOs that I train. I'm an investor. That's my main business now. I've done all kinds of stuff. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old.
It's such a reminder about all the possibilities and opportunities that there are in life, and everybody wants it, and everyone thinks, oh, how lucky, and life's so easy for them, but no one sees what goes on behind all of this. And people, they see that, they see the luxury, they see the life, they see us having fun, and that is all true. But unfortunately, the Instagram doesn't capture what went on behind this and all the years in the making. It takes courage. A lot of people just see the glitz and the glory, but you don't see the day in and day out and what.
You want to tell me what I did here? Pretend we're having an argument. You want to fucking tell me why? I want the street to think that you and I are on the outs. I especially want those fuckers who left to hear about it. What do you want me to do? I'm gonna poke you. Poke me back. I'll poke you all goddamn day. You throw in with them. You tell them I was a prick when you stuck your neck out. More to come. Got it! When you walk out that door, I want you to tell me to go fuck myself. Go to the lounge! They're gonna hear me in the back office! I'm gonna shove you now! Go ahead! I love you like a brother. I fucking love you too, man.
Sometimes you can cheat the affiliation by paying for the affiliation, as with the Yahoo News thing. I also knew a guy who his dad was rich, so he paid this, like, he was from India. He paid a Argentinian university a bunch of money, and they gave him an honorary blockchain doctorate in blockchain. So he calls himself Dr. Evan Luthra.
Oh my Lord.
And he was pitching himself as this successful investor.
Okay.
The other thing is, these guys are like 27. I mean, a lot of them. There are some older ones, so it's not a perfect indicator. But a lot of them are like, hey, I'm a millionaire at 27. And you're like, how do you...
7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure businesses. This is the next piece. Okay, so we have the affiliation piece. The next piece is the lifestyle. So they take pictures of themselves with fast cars.
Oh, yeah.
And so Tai Lopez, does he own all these cars, or does he just
There's a
take
lot of
pictures in front
evidence
them?
that they're rented. It doesn't make much sense for them to actually buy them outright because they're marketing material. They literally, they're just marketing to people who think that wealth is a fast car, that wealth is not, success in a business. It's rather just like owning things. Something that I've realized after looking at this stuff for over a year is that they know that most people aren't their target audience. Kind of two types of people get scammed. One, they're a first-time scammed. So they haven't really been inoculated, you could say. They don't have the germ in them. They haven't been
they don't have the antibodies. They haven't been burned before.
They haven't been
looking
burned.
for fresh meat, naive people.
Fresh meat. Number two, they're sort of repeat kind of, they're people who get stuck in a cycle of this. And this is where it gets much darker, where I've talked to people who've lost $26,000, $30,000. But it all revolves around the same cycle of proof of like, I'm a success. I will make you successful. If you just trust me, if you put your trust in me, you put your money with me.
Right.
This is a spreadsheet of all the properties that I own, okay? There are, let me just see here. I'm gonna go through each one of these so that you guys can see I'm completely transparent. No REIT will show you this. No other funds will show you this. I'm showing you what I'm buying, when I'm buying it, what I'm looking for, what I'm paying for it, what my closing fees are, what fees I get, where the money goes, the whole deal, because I have nothing to close.
We're just here at the Beverly Hills mansion.
This is the man who parodies me.
You know, it's Snapchat parody, so nothing's
it's
official.
good. Hey man, never take yourself too seriously. Mahatma Gandhi said, if I didn't have the ability to laugh at myself, I would have killed myself a long time ago. That's how I feel about life, man.
The $50 billion man.
That guy?
Yes.
He doesn't give a shit, though.
Yeah.
That's what
he's almost dead. I don't think we could play his stuff without getting sued, Jim.
Tata's coming in. We're gonna talk how to make some paper together. I think I have some resources that his audience benefit from, like sales, closing, phones, follow-up, some traditional hardcore.
Wham! Pack them in the face, baby!
And you said until you get your first 100,000, invest in yourself anyways. Don't be going out and buying
Yeah, first
things.
100 people are trying to invest too soon. They're like, I got $5,000, should I put it in crypto? No, you should not. You don't have any money to put risk. You put the $5,000 in you, it's no money. Like, don't think you have any money, you're broke.
What's up, man?
He was just asking me what I hope to get out of this meeting.
How are you?
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Got some real estate up there. Have you met Alex?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I don't know if you met Alex. Are you you getting a new jet, they said?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That's
Nice.
the 550, yeah.
That's the actual size? That's crazy.
No.
What is this, for ants?
I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
What is this?
A center for ants.
Give me a second.
Any bankruptcies?
No.
Any defaults?
No.
Any deals that you missed? Like
Sure,
you're like,
for
oh
sure.
God, I should have invested.
I'll tell you a deal that I wanted to do that I was pissed off for a while was Maxim. You know, Maxim was a company that did $200 or $300 million.
It went on the auction block. I wanted to buy it, and the damn thing, a guy picked it up for $10 million, and I think, is a gold mine.
Hello, Joe. My name's Dan Pena. I'm still a formidable force at 6'1", 225. And if you think that I'm almost dead, ask this bear that I killed with a fucking knife not too long ago. I'm still a very tough fucking guy. At 71, I take no bullshit in person or on the fucking YouTube. I'm calling you out, Joe. You think you're a tough guy. You haven't met me. I'm the $50 billion man, and this is my lair.
That's what you're teaching these kids.
Correct.
It's not just business.
No.
Okay.
How to stand up like you had a pair.
All right, so you're trying to de-snowflake these men and women, get them to stand up, get them to go out, face their fears.
And they know they're snowflakes, and that's why they come to me, because they think I'm the alpha male dad they never had. They say during private time, I'm a cunt. I don't want to be a cunt. How can I change? My dad was a cunt. I tell the story. It's not a story. My cousin, God love him, he went to jail for being involved in stabbing a guy 17 times because somebody said, your girlfriend's got a fat ass. Looks like pigs in a gunny sack. He stabbed him 17 fucking times. Only by the grace of God he couldn't stab it right, and the guy didn't die.
I'll tell you what a gold mine is, those Harry Potter books.
That's because it gives the other kids, the 98-pound weaklings, some hope.
Oh, speaking of 98 pounds, I hear Jenny Sacks getting a 95-pound mold taken off her ass.
Hey, some guy's wife. Come on.
Most of the conversation was about Johnny Sack moving to Jersey and all that there.
Yeah, Jenny Sack told Gabriella she needed a bigger house.
Jenny Sacramone. What she needs is her own zip code.
Jersey's a small state. She moves in. She could tip it over.
She's so fat, her blood type is ragu.
She's so fat she goes camping. The bears have to hide their food.
When Jenny holds ass, she's got to make 2 trips. 2 guys can fuck her at the same time and still never meet.
Oh, Johnny!
I want you to sanction the hit on Ralph Cifaretto.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
Violated my wife's honor.
Ralph slept with Jenny?
He insulted her. He made a very insensitive joke about her body to some friends of ours.
What did he say?
He said she was having a 90-pound mole removed from her ass.
It's an off-colored remark. It was highly inappropriate. You want? I'll demand he's taxed. But clip him.
Let's just say we're going to take this podcast public.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get crazy.
Okay, let's get crazy. Let's throw out numbers. $1 million a year off your podcast, and you have no other shareholders. Okay, just
okay.
You. Okay. Now you want to take it public, and you want to take it public on one of the secondary or tertiary exchanges, because this wouldn't be big enough to take on the New York Stock Exchange, and you want to sell shares in your baby for $1,000 a share, and so you sell 20% off to the public, and I mean you got millions of people to follow you. I mean that would be a slam dunk. I mean it would be a no-brainer. It'd be a no-brainer.
But then a bunch of people would be telling me who to get
as long as you got to keep control. Fuck
keep
you.
Control.
You know,
they would try to get that power though.
Because what happened on Clubhouse, just answering questions. I make my email address public, Jason Calcanis. I'm Jason on Twitter, twitter.com. So I make myself available to any founder who wants to pitch me. I run free events like Founder University is free. 250 people come to it. It's free for founders. We do this because we want to meet founders so we can invest in their companies. And we make money over 10 years investing in the companies. Now, we don't make money off of selling them a course. Founder.university is free. We do that to get deal flow. We want to meet the next Uber or Robinhood or Calm or whatever it is. And we want to invest in the company and then be aligned with the founder. So here's what I realized. They had these bios. I'm just going to read you one of them. I don't know who Ash Ganadhari is, but 8-figure coaching business. And then you start reading these and they all have 8-figure, 7-figure, 9-figure, and they have these giant long bios about how they have many businesses. So the way I busted them was I said to this guy, Brad Hager, Hager, because somebody said, Google him, it's a scam. And I Googled him and he had all these complaints, and people saying he had scammed them out of money. and I realized he has this MLM. So he's on Clubhouse talking and giving business advice. And then I think what they're doing is, this is their funnel, Stephen, to get you into an MLM course, where to get you to join their MLM scam.
So these are from a company that we use called ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is basically like a software that you can create online businesses with.
There's just been so many tools out there. Very few have been aggregated to do everything you need to do to create success.
ClickFunnels came out of nowhere. They took the marketplace by storm, just like Apple did when they first launched the iPhone.
ClickFunnels allows you to sell a product online quicker and faster than anything you've ever seen in your life.
So I said to him, you have 47 businesses that are 7, 8, 9 figures. Tell me the name of the most successful one so I can Google it and do a little research, and maybe there's a New York Times story about it or a profile. They couldn't name one of their businesses.
Each one of these is called a 2 Comma Club Award, which I guess represents making over $1 million with one funnel, or which is essentially a website.
Can I ask you something? Because I feel like I'm going to really piss you off with this one. Have you ever heard of the Angels and Entrepreneurs Summit?
I did. They basically took my book and my investment in Uber, which was one of the legendary investments, and they kind of crafted their whole Angel Investor Summit. It was with one of the sharks and Neil Patel.
Yeah.
This is a disgusting scam.
Good afternoon, everybody. What I want to talk to you about today is what I think is the most important innovation in funding of companies since venture capital itself. I'm an angel investor, but I also do something called a syndicate. How many people have invested in a syndicate before? And has anybody run a syndicate for their startup? Okay. So we've done 90 of these syndicates. We started on a website called AngelList, and our first deal was a meditation app called Calm.com. Has anybody used Calm.com? Raise your hand if you have. Thank you. The average investment, as you can see here, the majority of people put in between $1,000 and $5,000. If you're an angel investor, the minimum on most deals is $25,000, $50,000. And here you see a couple of very lucky people put in $10,000 to $25,000, but nobody put above that number.
For so long, investing in private companies was a lucrative universe reserved for the 1%. Unless you were a millionaire, you were locked out. And then, just a couple years ago, Congress decided to open up the doors, and now everyday investors can become successful angel investors.
What is the potential downside to equity crowdfunding and letting 1,000 people from the public put $500, say, into your startup? If you were to raise $500,000 from 1,000 people, how do things change for that startup?
Well, if you're not careful, so if you don't structure it properly, with all the deals we're doing with the 17 companies here that people can invest in today, although you're all getting an economic interest, it's one person on the company's cap table. So there's one point of contact, so that if you need signatures and things like that, it's streamlined. That's very important.
And you want to sell shares in your baby for $1,000 a share. And so you sell 20% off to the public. And I mean, you got millions of people that follow you. I mean, that would be a slam dunk. I mean, it would be a no-brainer. It'd be a no-brainer.
But then a bunch of people would be telling me who to get
as long
as guests.
As long as you got to keep control. Fuck
keep
you.
Control.
You know.
They would try to get that power, though.
Hey, big news. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. Big news. We just got approval from the SEC to open our non-accredited fund for non-accredited investors. It's a $50 million fund. So many of you, hundreds and hundreds of people text me, emailed me, and said, please open another fund. I got an uncle, a brother, a father, a mother. I got a friend that wants to get involved. Many of you are already getting checks from us. Go to cardonecapital.com/invest, cardonecapital.com/invest.
Hey everyone, I'm Clayton Morris.
I'm Natalie Morris.
This is the show where we focus on building passive income and legacy wealth for you and your family so that you can spend more time with your family. That's the goal, right? Because what else matters?
I'm going to toss it over to our own Clayton Morris, who we all love, and take it away.
Well, I've decided after 18 years in broadcast television, I didn't think I was going to do this, that today will be my last day. in television. So, and 10 years here on the curvy couch. Can we go to commercial?
No. You didn't think we'd let you get away with this.
And the vehicle that we use to get there is buy and hold real estate. We buy it and we never sell it. We hold it for the rest of our lives because it creates passive income. So what are we talking about with, it's hard to say it, by the way, when I say...
an accredited investor.
Is it an accredited investor? It's an accredited investor,
yes,
isn't
you
it?
add an N to A if the next word starts with a vowel.
Yeah, an accredited investor. It's like
Right.
I was a history major.
Yes. Yeah.
Not an history major. I was
No.
a history major.
Right. I am a pumpkin. Right? As opposed to I am an animal.
Right.
Okay, that's the vocabulary lesson for today, everyone. Do not use it wrong this week. We will pound you right in the face.
Yeah, and people need to understand you accumulate your losses first.
Right.
And then
the J curve.
What do you call it? The J curve?
The J curve, your
Yeah.
losses in
Explain
any
what it is.
venture fund. So if you, let's say you invest, say you have a venture fund, you invest in 10 companies, the good exits are going to happen at the end of your fund's life cycle, or if you're an individual, your portfolio's life cycle. Your losses are going to show up in the first couple years. So most of the startups are going to fail early on, so you're going to see the losses before you actually see the big exits that carry the rest of the portfolio.
So years 2 or 3 or 4 can be painful.
They can. Yeah.
You can get a little bit of a stomach ache.
Yeah.
Grind your teeth, look at the ceiling. If you don't know that.
Yeah. So you go in with your eyes wide open, and it's not for everybody.
Used by lonely chauvinists.
See, everybody wants us, but by shitting all over us, they try and bring our price down. But you shitting all over them counteracted their shitting all over us. You nagged a nag. Richard, this could be good. Where do we have next?
Ross Loma Capital.
Should I keep doing it? Should I keep nagging? No, I'll handle this. If they want to negotiate using hostility and rudeness, well, they picked the wrong guy.
And this is super important because these investors, 4 years later, woke up to Apple making Calm the app of the year, not the health app of the year, the app of the entire iOS ecosystem for the year. And then something very important happened. People had a ton of anxiety because of Donald Trump, Mueller, and this existential crisis. I'm kidding, but I'm not. Particularly proud of this investment. I've made 200 investments, or over 200 investments. 7 of them are unicorns. So it's a pretty good hit rate. But this one has got a very special place in my heart because I don't believe they would have, and they told me that they wouldn't have been able to raise money, and I think it would have been a slower trajectory. I think they still would have succeeded. And there's probably more good news to come from this company. They recently publicly announced that they're doing $100 million in revenue.
Well, you see, our main concern is how you're going to achieve escape velocity on your growth rate. Get critical mass. I'm sorry, what's funny?
It's just that painting behind you. It is awful. Looks like Harlequin Kama Sutra done poorly. So, I agree. Bad culture fit. I think we just all move on.
Look, I didn't say anything about a culture fit.
No, I did. Okay, well, thank you for meeting with us. We have a bunch of these things to go to, hopefully with more tasteful artwork. And your logo looks like a sideways vagina. I find that to be racist, don't you?
Welcome to the Angels and Entrepreneurs Summit. I'm Mike Ward, and joining me for this historic event are Robert Herjavec and Neil Patel. Gentlemen, welcome. It's a pleasure.
Glad to be here, Mike.
For hundreds of years, a secret market has existed where the wealthy and powerful gain privileged access to the most lucrative business deals the world has ever seen. And in doing so, they changed the course of human history. Now, in 1980, when Apple IPO'd, Marcula's shares were worth $203 million, a return of 220,552%. A powerful congressional act has now unleashed one of the biggest financial shifts in U.S. history. Finally, everyone can capitalize on this secret market. Robert, you're the founder of the Herjavec Group. You're a cybersecurity firm that generates $250 million a year in revenue. You also star in the Emmy Award-winning TV show Shark Tank.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Never in a million years do we think a show about angel investing would become such a hit.
Do you care about Pied Piper?
Do I care about Pied Piper? Well, of course.
Because if you do, I'm not seeing it. In fact, what I think I'm seeing is the human equivalent of a flaccid penis.
Flaccid. It's actually pronounced flaccid. Not a lot of people know that.
Well, we are definitely interested, but I think we need to... I'm sorry. Is something wrong?
No, this is all wrong. I am sensing a general lack of vision. Your muffins smell like shit. So do your ideas. One of you is the least attractive person I've ever seen. I'm not gonna say who. Should we leave or should you?
We just got offered 8 at 40. We're 5 for 5, gentlemen.
And Galveston Capital Fund and Yountville Ventures called. They want to move their meetings up before everyone else.
They basically
I was worried you were going to be like, yeah, this is real legit. I was like, please don't say that.
This is super disgusting. And they basically cribbed a lot of what I do and used that language. So, I'm famous for making this crazy and, Uber investment, that paid off thousands to one, right? And that I got very lucky in that regard to hit that, but it does happen in Silicon Valley
Way back in the day, I was pining after going to Stanford GSB, Graduate School of Business, because I really wanted to go there undergraduate. I ended up not going. And then I thought, wait, but I can get back to the pine trees and the beautiful terracotta buildings for business school. And it also would be a nice 2-year vacation that looks good on a resume. I went through the process of applying twice. I went through everything, and it always ended at the tour. And ultimately I decided, wait a minute, why don't I take what I would have spent on business school, which is $120,000 at the time, and just create the Tim Ferriss Fund. And I would ask Mike if I could invest alongside him, just small amounts of money. And ultimately that led to early stage investments in Facebook, Twitter, Uber, Alibaba. You go down the list, the 50 plus companies over the next 10 years following that, because I ended up enjoying it and it worked out. By far the biggest financial wins of my life, probably forever, quite frankly.
5 to 10 years, you hit one of the outlier companies, Google, Facebook, Airbnb.
Right, that's why you're investing. Yeah.
That's what I do, right?
Yeah.
It's you're hoping that you hit 1 in 1,000. Well, I've hit that a couple of times. The book is $10. I explain to you everything I've learned. And I hope you buy it, or I hope you get it for free. I hope somebody passes it on to you and you get it from the library and you get all that value for $10. Because I don't need money from founders or the public. I make a lot of money as an angel investor.
This is what I've been telling my audience, is that if they had a better way to make money, they would just do that. They're doing what they do.
Yes.
They're preying on desperate people because they can't actually do what they say they can do.
So this scumbag Neil Patel, who I know because he used to be around the industry, has never made any angel investments I know of. I've never seen him on a cap table. He is, I think, turned into a bit of a grifter. And I can tell you he's not talented, and he's kind of laughed at in our industry as like one of these affiliate kids who does this like crazy affiliate summit.
Didn't he also copy a lot of stuff? Like I think he was caught like plagiarizing several times.
He's plagiarized me a million times, I think, just in this effort. And then they did that thing where they hire the sharks. So the sharks from Shark Tank, Mark Cuban excluded because he's actually rich.
He's actually rich, yeah.
But I think the other sharks are not actually rich. And he had the one guy do these videos on a yacht. Did you see those?
Oh, yeah.
And I can tell you Neil Patel is not rich and doesn't own a yacht.
But they can rent a yacht.
But they rented a yacht.
Everything can be
which
rented.
shark did he have on this?
Robert Herjavec.
Okay, so I don't know Robert. He seems like a nice guy. But Damien and Robert seem to do any paid speaking gig that you give them. And if you give them $50,000, they'll stand next to you. And then what these scumbags do in these courses and stuff is they take them, they give them $50,000. Then you, as an unsuspecting person, says, oh, they're from Shark Tank, they're billionaires. Well, they're not billionaires, or else they wouldn't need the $50,000 speaking gig.
Can I make it worse? So not only that, they Robert ran a real estate seminar gig, which that's a gigantic scam industry, where it said like, oh, you're going to meet this guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he wasn't actually at these events. And it's a boilerplate room where basically they're just trying to sell you on these like $20,000 seminars. Okay, that's him. Daymond John is connected to Raging Bull, who, remember the FTC guy? Oh yeah, he had a video endorsing that guy. Because of course, like you said, $50,000, they'll do anything. I don't think he's ever said anything about that except to basically block people who talk to him about it.
All right, listen, before I contacted Jason, I'm a shark, right? You know, I have no problem about, ripping somebody apart or just saying I'm out. So I'm a skeptic at first. I ask way more questions than I do give answers, right? Listen, I put out a tweet when Twitter just started, and I said, I can't wait to wake up in the morning because whether the market goes up or down, I'm going to make money no matter what tomorrow. And I had thousands of people hit me with how, and I was like, oh crap, what did I do now? and it took me probably about 7 or 8 years to really feel comfortable with somebody that I thought had the experience, the knowledge, the ability to teach and walk them through it like you. So I appreciate you passing this on to my family.
Raging Bull, Jason Bond, and Jeff Bishop are getting sued by the FTC.
Let me just ask you, what do you think makes you guys different? I mean, there's just so many services out there, right? What is it that makes you, Raging Bull, really distinguished and different from the rest?
Now, it shouldn't come as a huge shock to you because 152 days ago, I posted a video predicting exactly that.
Then Daymond John also got on a thing with Grant Cardone and told
I saw
people,
your video of that where they said take the last $1,000.
We've got to play it for people because they won't believe it. They will not believe this.
It's unbelievable. They're like, if this person has only $1,000 left and it's Christmas, what do you tell them? And Daymond John says,
I tell them to buy it.
Buy the course for
and Grant Cardone
Your last
goes,
1,000, kids get no Christmas presents. No
Grant
Christmas
Cardone
for
goes,
family.
me too. I would tell them the same thing. That's who we're dealing with,
Unbelievable.
folks. That's who we're dealing with. Okay, hold on.
So if you're down to your last $1,000, this offer today is $997, grantcardone.com/shark. Okay?
Yeah.
You're down, a guy's sitting there right now watching this saying, I got my last grand. Should he spend it on this?
Absolutely.
I would tell you the same thing.
So brutal. So brutal. They literally would take the last $1,000 out of mom's purse.
Oh, yeah.
Out of dad's wallet.
Oh, yeah. Take it.
Take that last $1,000. The kids get no presents, coal in their stockings. Don't pay the heat bill. Just take your last $1,000 and give it to Grant Cardone.
And guess what you get for that?
You get a course or a book, an ebook. I don't know.
You get Daymond John's ebook. You get Daymond on Demand, which is like his stupid course or whatever, and then you get a 10x Growth Con. Guess what that is, Jason? It's a pitch for more stuff. So you're gonna go there broke, and then they're gonna go, "Hey, you got a credit card?"
I don't think Kevin O'Leary or Robert or Daymond John actually have money. Because if they did, why would they be on a rented yacht? Why would they be selling schlocky courses? Are they just that desperate for an incremental $50K?
No,
Doesn't make any sense.
They're making a lot of money with this. Grant
I
Cardone
mean,
says he makes the money here and then he plows it into real estate. So it's like this is cash flow, and then I can then invest it into like real things and then launder my reputation. I call it reputation laundering because they're taking money by ways that most people would consider scummy or scammy or distasteful, and then they plow it into things that most people would consider legit. Like Tai Lopez is in the process of trying to do this, and I'm not going to let him. He's investing in Pier 1, right? He's doing a bunch of like things like that.
He bought a bunch of
but where'd the money come from?
For nothing, right?
Joining us now to discuss this space is Tai Lopez, president of Retail E-Commerce Ventures. And Tai is a very special guest because Tai's company focuses on taking the names of the brands that we know so well, Pier 1, Dress Barn, right? Those are just a few of the examples, and transforming their businesses into e-commerce focused businesses. Tell me more about this, Tai.
Actually, here's one. I wanted to buy American Apparel, man. That was a deal. That company was doing almost $900 million at its peak.
Yeah.
Ended up selling to some Canadian guys, bought for $60 million, the whole brand. You're talking a top three. Yeah, if I'd paid attention. I mean, I wouldn't have done it with all my own money just because I would want to diversify.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of my regrets are those snooze you lose kind of things. Big brand. I really think that those two bothered me because getting a hold of big mainstream brands is so powerful. Think what you can do with a mainstream American Apparel. They bought it for $60 million. It probably had $50 million in inventory. So they bought the brand name of a top 3 clothing line in the world for $10 million.
Yeah, okay, so another mistake, man. I need something worse.
Buddy, I want to first congratulate you because this morning, you closed on a really big deal on a brand that I grew up with.
I just closed on it a couple hours before coming on your show. I also bought linens and things last month, which you remember is like Bed Bath & Beyond. So
Right.
I've just been buying up businesses. I mean, not just this year, post-COVID. I was doing it pre-COVID, but I own a company with my business partner that's been on your show, Dr. Alex Mayer, called Rev, Retail E-Commerce Ventures. We basically buy brick and mortar brands and we bring them online.
Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. Today we are in Beverly Hills and I'm filming Dr. Alex. He has around 30 businesses and I have so many questions to him because I only have like 4 and I wonder how he manages everything, and I guess he's managing that well because look at the house. Thank you, you have a beautiful house. Hi Lexi, hello, nice to meet you. Look at that. Look at what's happening around us. I'm so impressed. This is my first time in like such a big house. And wow, amazing.
Cool. Yep. So let's start. So notice the strategy is, and it makes sense, right? Intuitively, you're taking companies that were once successful, once had some, and still have brand equity, but they had actually success because they were retail stores, and people would go in and buy. And then as commerce shifted more and more to online, an example would be like a Borders or a Books, right? Where they once were the leader and then got destroyed by Amazon's, but there's all these other companies that are getting destroyed by Amazon as well now. And one by one, you're trying to pick off the ones that you think have value in terms of the mailing list. So it's really for you all about the mailing list and the and the brand equity. Is that what it is, or is there more to it than that?
I think the way to think about it is like take Pier 1. So Pier 1, has 95% aided brand awareness in the US, meaning if you ask people, have you heard of Pier 1? Almost 95 out of 100 Americans know it. So I wouldn't call it the lie, but one of the things that everybody's taught in the entrepreneur space is that, you build things from scratch, you get an idea, Silicon Valley stories, San Francisco, you get a little venture money, and you turn your idea into a unicorn. But most of those businesses fail. It's kind of like with real estate in general. You don't buy raw land, you buy existing properties, and you spruce them up. And so for us, that's what we want to do. And yes, you get the email list, you get the text list, but more importantly, you get the trust.
Does Tony Robbins fall into this category?
Program. Let's hear some clapping. Let's get excited about Tony coming into the room, and let's welcome.
How you all doing out there, Dreamforce? Thank you. Please grab a seat. So after that introduction by Mark, we have a lot of history together, and I'm very grateful for the kind words he said. I have had the privilege of interacting with him, knowing him indirectly for about 25 years, and certainly directly for the last 15 years of this journey. And it's so amazing to watch Dreamforce grow from 1,300 people to 135,000, 5 million people online. This man has created like a festival. It's like a music festival for geeks. Excuse me, I mean techies. We're all techies, right? And it's pretty amazing. Can we have a hand for Mark for this creation he's done here called Dreamforce? It's truly amazing.
Because there are people who I know who go to Tony Robbins seminars. It's a week, it's $5,000, which that's in our industry, a tech conference, that might be what a tech conference costs, but then they pay $10K where they do personal consulting. It seems like a lot of these folks kind of took the Tony Robbins archetype and then they're kind of rebuilding it as like cheap Tony Robbins.
3, go!
So like
deep versions, like a poor is Tai Lopez and
they're sort
Grant
of
Cardone,
poor
like
man,
poor man's
Tony Robbins. Yeah, but what I can tell you is that like I do this thing now where I used to just analyze the marketing, but now I'm also like some of these guys, I'll go through their course and then I'll also talk about what's in the course. So I have the Knowledge Business Blueprint, which is Tony Robbins' new course, right? He sells it for, I think, $2,000, somewhere in that range.
Hey, it's Tony Robbins. How are you? Listen, in the middle of this winter that we're experiencing, it's a pretty important time for us to take back control of our life. You know, there's two worlds that we can master. The external world, which we can't control, but we can influence. And the internal world, which we can control. So the question is, do you have the mindset? Do you currently have the skills, the strategies, and the tools to make 2021 the best year of your life?
So during one of the little modules, he's talking about, selling your business, selling your knowledge. So he's teaching you maybe how to sell a course, okay? So he's teaching you this. They talk about how many people they have in the program, Jason. They have something like, I'm blanking on the number. I think it's like 13,000 people or 20,000 people. You come to find out that they've made tens of millions of dollars off an online course that costs them after production $0 besides customer acquisition to make. So the question is, why wouldn't Tony just put it out on his website? Listen, I also don't really have that big of a problem with like, you want to go hear the hoorah rah. There might be some value in that. But what's the value in like spending $2,000 to make Tony richer and to make Dean Graziosi richer versus, oh, maybe we should just like give this knowledge out for free because we're trying to help people, right? And the people who look up to us, like, yeah, some of them are successful, but a lot of them are like in desperate straits who resonate with Tony's life story of being like broke and destitute. So why not just release the information or like...
So I was sitting in my cubicle today and I realized ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
What about today? Is today the worst day of your life?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up. I'm sorry. Go on.
Knock, knock. Let me be the ad hoc welcoming committee. I am Colin Robinson. You're going to be hearing a lot more about me.
Oh, probably not.
Oh, no. Nonsense. People talk.
Not to me, they don't.
Look at that. Personalized nameplate, huh?
Yeah, I had it made because people don't usually remember my name.
Oh.
You have no idea how long I've been waiting to hear a kind word. Been all alone since Mother died. So.
Oh, I'm just talking to you.
Talk later?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I said we would. Oh, what the hell was that? I didn't get anything from her. Nothing. I think there's something weird about Evie.
And at one point he even adopted you, didn't he?
Yeah, when I was 16 when my mother died.
Yeah.
My mother died of cancer.
Yeah. And so he adopted you, and he was your mother, your father, your mentor?
My psychiatrist, yeah, my therapist, it was everything, yeah.
Arnie, you're going to kill me, but I think I am going to change my position on the whole Q-tip conundrum that we had. Arnie, are you even listening to me?
Sorry. I was talking to the new girl. She told me the saddest story about her nephew, born with his eyeballs facing backwards. So can you see his brains?
I think the new girl is an emotional vampire. They're an advanced form of energy vampire. But instead of frustrating people around them for energy, they feed off of pity. There's not going to be anything left when she's done with Dave, I'll tell you that much.
Is there any way that you could sort of just zonk me out so that like I don't know that I'm at work in here? Could I come home and think that I've been fishing all day or something?
That's really not what I do, Peter.
You even went, I already had you hypnotized at times. What was he hypnotizing you to do?
He was a hypnotist as well, and he believed that he could reach the subconscious. You have to believe in it because it's something that's very complex to believe in. I'm not going to believe somebody's going to tell me something and this is going to appear. But I believed everything Cus told me. Everything he told me, I believed it.
Yes.
And so that's what it was like.
I want you to relax every muscle in your body, beginning with your toes to your fingertips. Now I want you to relax your legs. You're beginning to feel your eyelids getting heavy as you slip deeper and deeper into a state of complete relaxation. Now when I count backwards from 3, you will be in a state of complete relaxation. Your worries, cares, and inhibitions will be gone. And you will remain in that state until I snap my fingers. 3, 2, deeper and deeper. Way down. 1.
Oh my God, Dr. Swanson! Ooh, ooh, is he breathing? Call 911. Oh, where's
Today I'm going to be sharing with you my honest review of the Knowledge Broker Blueprint course. So this is a course that launched last year. It's been around for about 10 months now, and it's founded by Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Russell Brunson. And so essentially what it is, it's teaching you how to extract your knowledge or the knowledge of someone else, how to package it up in a nice way, and then how to be able to market it and sell it to others. Here inside the Knowledge Broker Blueprint course, as you can see, there's like an intro video with Dean and Tony. So you can see here there's 6 different modules. So mastering your mindset, extraction and discovery, marketing mastery, generating the right clients, running the event with confidence, knowledge consultant, and reporter. Now, I would say some of the cons, not really a way to create passive income. The idea of this course is that you are now going to go out and, let's say, create a workshop. That requires your time. So you are still exchanging your time for money. So yes, you can go create a workshop. You can fill out, 10, 20, 30, 50 seats, and you can make great money from that, but you still have to show up and commit your time, and it's not passive.
Minnie, I'm going to jump for a moment. We're going to come back to this time, but
okay,
because you mentioned something, I'll give you a little breather here.
Yeah, thank you. Every time I talk about,
I give a head for starters here, right?
Thank you.
Thank you for your vulnerability, brother. It's real. It's fucking real. That's what everybody's looking for. Is real. We live in a world where everything's bullshit. Everybody's putting the polish on it and making their Instagram look good. This is real shit.
You see, what we're actually trying to do here is we're trying to get a feel for how people spend their day at work. So, if you would you walk us through a typical day for you?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm
Space out?
Yeah. I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is the Knowledge Broker Blueprint, right? They break it up and they'll do installments for you.
Wow.
And of course they
That's
raise
a bit of a tell
they
too, right?
raise the price of the installments, of course, because they want to make sure they get the money out of you.
Yeah.
$5.94, 4 monthly payments. Just because it also tells you who their audience is, right? Because if they're dealing with big players who are
they wouldn't need a payment plan.
Right. So who are they actually targeting? Who's actually this $2,000 course for?
They're not targeting somebody who's an accredited investor. Accredited investors make $200,000 a year or more. Those are the only people I really work with as co-investors are accredited. We don't work with civilians, as we call them. And it's not meant to be derogatory, but the civilian crowd that's learning, we have free stuff for them.
I'm an angel investor, but I also do something called a syndicate. How many people have invested in a syndicate before? And has anybody run a syndicate for their startup? Okay. So we've done 90 of these syndicates. We started on a website called Angel List, And our first deal was a meditation app called Calm.com. Has anybody used Calm.com? Raise your hand if you have. Thank you.
I think that's overall, I think we've broken down how you know if you're getting scammed. Is this more than the return on investment test? Can you get this information from a more credible person who actually has business success? And what are they charging for the same information?
Correct.
Free. Or their book.
But the why of things is extremely important, because our brain has evolved to not to discard information that it thinks has no relevance. So then, if on the one hand you're being asked to memorize or learn, say, formulas, but you do not know why this is the case, then you have this cognitive dissonance of it seems irrelevant, but I'm being told to remember it, so I'll be punished. so I better remember it. But so the why of things is very important. And
when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world. Try not to bash into the walls too much. Try to have a nice family life. Have fun. Save a little money. But life. That's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing.
And then like if I think of some of the ways in which, how does a smart engineer make dumb mistakes, including, is optimize something that shouldn't exist. Don't optimize something that shouldn't exist. But people are trained to do this in college. You can't say no to the professor. The professor's going to give you the exam, and you've got to answer all the questions, or they will get angry. And give you a bad grade. So then you always optimize you always answer the question. A lot of the times you should say this is the wrong question.
Right.
In fact, the question is definitely wrong to some degree, just how wrong? Well, first of all, you don't need college to learn stuff, okay? Everything is available basically for free. You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ignition. Well, first of all, you don't need college to learn stuff, okay? Everything is available basically for free. You can learn anything you want for free. It is not a question of learning.
But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you.
Do these people know how embarrassing they come across? Like, I was watching a JT Fox video last night because I am, like you, fascinated by these people.
Mm-hmm.
JT Fox reminds me of, did you ever see the movie Magnolia, the Paul Thomas Anderson film, where Tom Cruise plays like a huckster who is doing like a kind of the game?
Mm-hmm.
How to fake like you are nice and caring. This is quite an important chapter, as you will see. So let's get right down to it, boys. Let's get right down to it. Men are shit. What? Men are shit. Well, isn't that what they say? Isn't that what, because we do bad things, don't we? We do horrible, heinous, terrible things. Things that no woman would ever do. No, women, they don't lie. No, women don't cheat. Women don't manipulate us. But you see what I'm getting at. Oh yeah, you see what I'm getting at. You see what society does? Boy, little boys, it's... Yeah, we are taught to apologize. I am sorry. I'm so sorry, baby. I am so sorry. What is it that... What is it, huh? We need, is it their pussies, their love? Yeah, Mommy wouldn't let me play soccer, and Daddy, oh, he hit me. So that's who I am. That's why I do what I do. Bullshit. I will not apologize for who I am. I will not apologize for what I need. I will not apologize for what I want. Okay. Now go to your blue booklets right now. I want you to turn to page 18 in your blue booklets.
Oh, come on, Frank. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm quietly judging you.
And you have to watch this JT Fox one first, because I think JT Fox is like the ultimate unself-aware grifter in this whole group.
And if this is the first time you are tuning into the show, welcome. My show is about politics, current events, real estate, wealth, success, and empowerment. Every single week, we interview some of the world's greatest guests, from Trump to Kiyosaki, to Senator McCain, to Reverend Jesse Jackson, to Mark and Jack Canfield and Victor Hansen from Chicken Soup from the Soul. And basically the idea here is to really deliver, not only just talk about the news, but really provide solutions. I mean, you all know right now, of course, that we are going through bad times. I mean, there's no questions about that. But there's a lot of people making a lot of money in this economy. But you just don't hear about it because, unfortunately, unless you're listening to a show like this, good news is not spreading. So there's 4 ways to me on how to make your $1 million and $5 million in the next 18 months, okay? I'll tell you this. Number 1, here's how to make $1 million to $5 million in the next 5 months. Number 1, you need to make the right decisions. What do I mean by that? In today's market, you are one wrong decision from being set back for a long time, and one right decision from forever your life being changed.
He seems like a deranged individual to me, almost like a tragic figure from some pathetic death of a salesman.
Oh my gosh.
If you leave this house,
exactly what is it that you want from me?
I want you to know on the train, in the mountains, in the valleys, wherever you go, that you cut down your life spite.
No.
Fight! And don't you dare blame it on me.
Dad, I'm not blaming you.
I'm not taking a rap for this.
Dad, it's just what I'm telling you.
You're trying to put a knife in me. Don't think I don't know what you...
The man is gonna know. We never told the truth for 10 minutes in this house.
Well, we always told truth.
Big Glow, are you the assistant buyer? You were one of the 2 assistants to the assistant, aren't you?
Well, I'm practically...
No, you are practically full of it. We all are, and I'm through it.
Okay.
Do you know I had no address for 3 months? I stole a suit in Kansas City, and I was in jail.
I suppose that's why. Stop crying! I'm through it!
I stole myself out of every good job since high school.
And whose fault is that?
I could never get anywhere because you blew me so full of hot air that I could never stand taking orders from anybody. That's whose fault.
I hear that.
It's about time. I had to be boss big shot in 2 weeks, and I'm through it.
And hang yourself, responsible.
No!
Hang yourself.
No! Nobody is hanging himself, Willie.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going in, Jason.
Is it Willie Loman?
Listen, like anytime I need to say something, but I'm like, I don't know. Am I going to go that hard? I'm going to be like, you know what? Let me get Jason on the line. Let's have him, because you're just going in on these guys. I love it.
It's so pathetic, though. We have to watch this one. This one is a level of pathetic, but it's almost sad.
Oh my God. We have to
he literally put himself
next to Steve Jobs.
He split-faced himself with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a level of... It's almost like this guy is so dumb, he does not know how dumb he is. Like, it's so embarrassing that he is unable to understand. Like, people think I'm embarrassing because I wrote a book. Like, about how I made a bunch of money. Like, I get it, but
did you see this quote?
Next level.
Did you see the
Read
quote?
The quote.
The quote says, JT Fox is the closest thing I've ever met to Steve Jobs. Then it's dash Steve Wozniak, Apple co-founder.
Wow.
And a lot of people create things and never really get the credit due for changing the world. It's kind of like the person who came up with DOS for Microsoft, who is, I don't even know who it is, but everyone gives credit to Bill Gates because of that, because he was smart enough to monetize the opportunity. And sometimes they say the creators are not really good monetizer. Do you feel that at this point in your life, creating, I think, one of the coolest things to come out, do you feel like you've changed the world and you've got your credit, or did Steve get more of the credit?
Well, to tell you, no, all I wanted the credit for is being a great engineer and having designed the products, and I get that credit no matter what. I'm not a person who seeks to put myself in the world. I don't want credit. I don't even understand. People come up to me and want autographs. In the early days of Apple, I said, I just did an engineering job. I'm a good engineer. I'm a great engineer. I just did an engineering job. I'm not like a Hollywood celebrity. What is going on with this? So all this celebrity type attention I get, I like it because people are nice. I don't understand it exactly.
Listen, okay? Last year, Apple lost $1 billion. I don't even know how that's possible. You were less than 90 days from being insolvent. I had 3 different accountants try to explain it to me. The whole place has to be streamlined.
Start with 2 of the accountants.
I started with the Apple...
The top guys...
There are no top guys. All right? On the Apple II team, there are no top guys. They're B players. And B players discourage the A players.
They're not B players, and I'm a better judge
Less
of that.
than 90 days from insolvency. In part because somebody thought the Newton wasn't a box of garbage.
Yo, least you can do if you're going to downsize these people...
They're going to live in the biggest houses of anyone on the unemployment
is to
line.
acknowledge them. This whole place was built by the Apple II. You were built by the Apple II.
As a matter of fact, I was destroyed by the Apple II and its open system so that hackers and hobbyists could build ham radios or something. And then it nearly destroyed Apple when you spent all your money on it and developed a grand total of no new products.
So we can get you an operating system.
What kind of operating system?
It's called DOS.
This is amazing. But not just amazing, it's historic. It should be taught in all the history books. I mean, hung and framed in the National Gallery or something. I mean, Bill Gates is the richest guy in the world because of what started in this room. You want to know what else? It wasn't exactly smoke and mirrors, but we didn't have anything. I mean, not a damn thing. Here we were, this 2-bit little outfit telling IBM we had the answer to their problems. The DOS, the disk operating system, to make all those zillion IBM computers compute. We didn't even remotely own anything like what Bill was selling them. Nada. Zip.
This is who we wanted to steal from. Xerox. They were secretly developing all this amazing stuff like the mouse and the graphics on the screen instead of just a bunch of numbers. But when those California engineers had to go to New York and present all this neat stuff to the Xerox brass, those executives didn't begin to understand what they were looking at. Never mind a mouse, it was like someone dumped a dead rat on the boardroom table.
You want Xerox to consider something called a mouse?
You know, I felt like one of the Mongol hordes coming to loot and plunder a bunch of defenseless villagers.
No. This is insane. We'll just be handing him everything. I mean, we created the mouse and all the rest of it, and now these idiots in New York want to show it all to Steve Jobs. I won't do it.
Hi, I'm Steve Jobs.
Something else.
So they were very skillful.
Yeah, but they did show us.
Yeah.
So, and it's good that they showed us because the technology crashed and burned at Xerox. And they used to call the, what's that?
No, I was just...
Why?
Yeah, why?
Oh, I actually thought a lot about that, and I learned more about that with John Scully later on, and I think I understand it now pretty well. What happens is, like with John Scully, John came from PepsiCo, and they at most would change their product, once every 10 years. I mean, to them, a new product was like a new size bottle, right? So if you were a product person, you couldn't change the course of that company very much. So who influenced the success of PepsiCo? The sales and marketing people. Therefore, they were the ones that got promoted, and therefore they were the ones that ran the company.
I'll take a Coke.
Is Pepsi okay?
Is Pepsi okay? Is Pepsi okay? Ow! Our puppy's okay. Is a shooting star okay? Is the laughter of a small child okay? Are you with me? You seem confused. Let's role play. Now.
Okay, I'm Steve. I'm an actor.
No. Just order something.
I'll
You will have a nice cold glass of the best thing you ever tasted. Okay?
Okay.
Start over. It has to be intuitive, precognitive. I mean, I wanted to know what you want to do before you even know you want to do it.
Wait, are we still talking about the command prompts?
Bill, we're talking about everything. The whole thing. Lisa. Guys, it's the future. I'm telling you right now. I mean, Lisa's gonna do for the next 10 years what the Apple II did for the last 3. I can tell you that right now.
Well, for PepsiCo, that might have been okay. But it turns out the same thing can happen in technology companies that get monopolies. Like, IBM and Xerox. If you were a product person at IBM or Xerox, so you make a better copy or a better computer. So what? When you have a monopoly market share, the company's not any more successful. So the people that can make the company more successful are sales and marketing people. And they end up running the companies. And the product people get driven out of the decision-making forums. And the companies forget what it means to make great products. Sort of the product sensibility and the product genius that brought them to that monopolistic position gets rotted out by people running these companies who have no conception of a good product versus a bad product. They have no conception of the craftsmanship that's required to take a good idea and turn it into a good product. And they really have no feeling in their hearts, usually, about wanting to really help the customers. So that's what happened at Xerox. The people at Xerox PARC used to call the people that ran Xerox toner heads. And these toner heads would come out to Xerox PARC and they just had no clue about what they were seeing. And for our audience, toner is what? Oh, toner is what you put into a copier. Yeah, the toner that you add to an industrial copier. The black stuff. The black stuff, yeah. So basically they were copier heads that just had no clue about a computer or what it could do. And so they just grabbed defeat from the greatest victory in the computer industry. Xerox could have owned the entire computer industry today. Could have been, a company 10 times its size. Could have been IBM. Could have been the IBM of the 90s. Could have been the Microsoft of the 90s. So, but anyway, that's all ancient history. It doesn't really matter anymore.
Sure. Celebrity type attention I get, I like it because people are nice. I don't understand it exactly, but because just so many, because everybody that's working on, there are people that are working on little tiny bits even of an iPod or an iPhone, and they're doing incredible stuff, but you can't recognize them by name. And I think that's largely because once you have an established company, the company wants to take credit for the products in a certain way. There's a way it has to be presented and marketed, and there isn't that much room to develop new technical heroes, but there are a few.
We should become partners. A guy like you just want to give. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean,
no, he didn't. Or maybe he just gave him $50,000 to say it.
You said to me that you had never seen someone as close to Steve Jobs as me. You said we're very similar. What did you mean by that?
You have a very fast, versatile mind, and very often you
Christ,
can see
please
things
tell
in
me
their,
this is not real. Oh
Apparently
my
it is.
God.
their totality,
It's
the
so
way they should
disturbing.
be seen, and not the little specific features that they have. JT Fox is one of the most incredible people. He is so spirited, he's anxious, he's young, he's talking, he's encouraging.
It's just so brutal. I feel so bad that people.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's
Steve!
It's so brutal. And then type in JT Fox course or complaints, and it's disturbing. Like all these videos that he makes, like in these bad suits, it's just so embarrassing.
we should become partners. A guy like you just want to give. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean,
so all these guys believe in ideology, so that's important to understand. And a lot of it's informed by Napoleon Hill. Do you know who this guy is? Think and Grow Rich. Okay, so it's their Bible. Of all these guys, Think and Grow Rich is their Bible. I've
heard Think and Grow Rich.
he was a huckster who said that he met with Andrew Carnegie and learned all his secrets. Andrew Carnegie apparently said, "You're the only guy who can go ahead and teach all my secrets," right?
That's a picture of Andrew Carnegie. He is the man that coached or mentored Napoleon Hill. That's Napoleon Hill when he was a young reporter working for a magazine. The magazine decided that they were going to write articles on wealth. Hill got the opportunity to spend 3 hours interviewing Andrew Carnegie. And here he is sitting down with the wealthiest man in the world at the time. Andrew Carnegie was considered the first billionaire. Now, unbeknownst to Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, he was looking for a person. Carnegie said he thought it was an absolute crime that people like himself, like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, and all these people who had amassed great fortunes, he thought it was an absolute crime they were going to their grave with all this knowledge locked up in their bones. He was looking for someone that would organize this information so that people like you and I could learn it. About halfway through, or towards the end of the interview, he thought maybe Hill was the guy he was looking for because he hadn't found anybody yet. So at the end of the interview, he said, "Napoleon, this interview isn't ending. It's just beginning. I want you to come home with me." And he took him home. They spent 3 days together. At the end of the 3 days, he said, "Napoleon, I'm going to ask you a question, and I just want a yes or no answer." He said, "Are you prepared to dedicate the rest of your life to an idea for which you will probably receive no material compensation for at least 20 years?" What he didn't tell Hill, he had a stopwatch in his hand, and he only gave him 60 seconds to answer the question. In 25 seconds, Hill said, "Yes, I will."
So when I was able to dive into this and really learn the ins and outs of making money, but actually allowing money to make money for you.
Yeah, exactly. Make money while you sleep.
Make money while you sleep. It was so interesting.
Not really a way to create passive income. The idea of this course is that you are now going to go out and, let's say, create a workshop. That requires your time. So you are still exchanging your time for money.
I finally decided, listen, if I can make $38,000 to $1 million, it's not about money. It's like growth. So I went, I want to make $3 million, but I want to make more of it while I sleep. But then I really began to realize it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's really your capacity to take your creativity and stop trading time for money. It's the worst trade in the world. Everybody's a financial trader. Yeah. They don't realize they're a trader. They're trading time, and you can't get more time. So
he was looking for someone that would organize this information so that people like you and I could learn it. About halfway through, or towards the end of the interview, he thought maybe Hill was the guy he was looking for because he hadn't found anybody yet.
And the way I did it was I said, I want to interview 50 of the most brilliant financial people in the world. Because most people don't know that I've been working with Paul Tudor Jones, one of the top 10 financial traders in history, for 21 straight years. And he hasn't lost money in 1 year in 21 years. Right. We made money in the tech blow up that happened in 2000 and 9/11. In 2008, when the market was down 51% from top to bottom, he made 28% positive, right? Incredible. So every day, literally, he emails me, I monitor him, I come see him, I work with him, and he pays me 7 figures a year to be able to do this, and I've been able to continually help him go to the next level. But quite frankly, I've learned more from him, I think, than I could ever teach him.
Right.
You go, you do well, you start it. Tell me, how did you become who you are?
Well, it's funny, I got to be a trader. Probably because when I was really, really young, I was a game fanatic. I played every single game that there was. Monopoly, Life, Parcheesi, poker. I used to play hours of solitaire. I just loved playing games. And so...
You're very competitive in solitaire?
Everything.
This book is like one of the best-selling books of all time. Of course. It never happened, though. There's no proof. And when pressed on this, he goes, "Oh, I had all the correspondence with this guy, but it burned up in a fire." Among the other lies that Napoleon Hill propagated was that he was the one who wrote the famous words for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." He's a famous liar, but he whitewashed his reputation, and all of these guys think of him as like the guy to listen to because what his whole thing is basically the secret.
book could be #1. I was really very excited about it because basically the message of The Secret is the message that I've been trying to share with the world on my show for the past 21 years. The message is that you're really responsible for your life. You are responsible for your life. I've known this. I've known this since The Color Purple. In 1985, I've probably told you the story when I did The Color Purple, but in 1985, I did The Color Purple. Prior to that, I had read the book, Larry. Now, this is when I got The Secret thing, but I didn't know it was called The Secret. I read the book, The Color Purple, and then went out and got books for everybody else I knew. And I was obsessed about this story. Obsessed about it. I ate, slept, thought all the time about The Color Purple. I moved to Chicago. I get a call from a casting agent asking, would I like to come and audition for a movie? I've never gotten a call in my life from anybody for a movie or anything like that. And I say, is it The Color Purple? And he says, no, it's a movie called Moonsong. And I go, well, I've been praying for The Color Purple. And I go to the audition, and of course it was The Color Purple. I audition, and she says, there's a phone call for you. And the phone call was Steven Spielberg saying, I want to see you in my office in California tomorrow.
Oprah Winfrey is so universally beloved that after her blockbuster acceptance speech at the Golden Globes in January 2018, there was speculation that she might actually run for president of the United States. That said, not everyone is a fan.
Oh yeah, you see what I'm getting at. You see what society does? Boy, little boys, it's woman. Yeah, we are taught to apologize. I am sorry. Keep it up. I'm so sorry, baby. I am so sorry.
Seal. Just days after the Golden Globes, the singer posted a meme on Instagram with Winfrey cozying up to disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. Seal captioned the post, "Oh, I forgot. That's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young, starry-eyed actresses who in turn had no idea what they were getting into. My bad."
What is it then? What is it, huh? Is it their pussies, their love? Yeah, Mommy wouldn't let me play soccer, and Daddy, oh, he hit me. So that's who I am. That's why I do what I do. Bullshit.
50 Cent. Rapper 50 Cent referred to Winfrey as an Oreo in the January 2006 issue of Elle magazine, complaining that the talk queen started out with black women's views but has been catering to middle-aged white American women for so long that she's become one herself.
See moments where you discuss your feelings on the culture.
Yeah.
And everything that was wrong with the culture was what was on my CD. But I was saying, if I can't be a friend, at least let me be your enemy so I coexist.
I will not apologize for who I am. I will not apologize for what I need. I will not apologize for what I want. Okay. Now go to your blue booklets right now. I want you to turn to page 18 in your blue booklets.
You can. It's not about experience. It's not about innovation. It's about attracting wealth. It's about a burning desire towards wealth. Jason, as a real investor, you know that's bullshit, right? The real path to wealth is like grit. It's hard work. It's luck.
Resiliency.
There's
a
million
stuff. I mean,
yeah, it's creating stuff.
They're really, or books. You don't need to give somebody $20,000 to learn any of these skills. It's a fucking giant scam. Period.
You're anonymous. We are legion. United as one. Divided by zero. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
No expression. Hide my head. I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow. No tomorrow. And I find it kinda funny. I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Large and open.
you.